The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. A table in the presence of mine enemies. Do we have enemies? I'm not so sure we do. Do we perceive enemies? Yes, most certainly we do. Enemies are the things that make us anxious. Enemies are the things that make us fear. Enemies are the things that we would extrapolate from our own experience and from our own place in the world. Things that we would set outside the pale of our being and outside the pale of nature and say that these things are evil, these things are wrong, these things mean us harm. We all naturally, because we have a self, because we are incarnated in a separate individuality, a sentient awareness, we perceive things as being good or bad for us. And the things we perceive as bad are our enemies. We try to push them away. We try to avoid them. We try not to let them get the best of us or even to interact with them sometimes. But what this verse tells us is that God prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. In the midst of these crises, we are provided for. Not only in the midst, but at the very center of these crises we are provided for. Not on the outskirts. If we want to find sustenance and inspiration and stability and love and connection, we have to step right into the midst of our enemies, because that is where the table is set. That is where the table is. We will experience only lack and loss of love and fear and all of these other things if we don't go right to the center of that difficulty and abide there in trust. In trust. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou makest a table, settest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. This anointing was a very joyful occasion in ancient times. Oil was precious. The anointing of the head, it gave a fragrance, it gave a feeling of comfort. It would soothe sunburn. It would calm and bless. So in the midst of all this, we are blessed.
נפשי שואף ינחני ממעט לצדק למען שמו גם כי ילך בקץ על מוות לא יירא כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי. דשנת בשמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה. אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני.